Hey guys, Harry here from the Art Gear Guy. Thank you so much for joining me today. Sorry I've not had anything up for to review lately. My son had been back home from university and he needed to use the studio because his bedroom's really small. He needed somewhere to study. He's in his fourth year of an integrated master's doing aerospace engineering. So what he's doing is a little bit more important than what I'm doing. So I just wanted to allow him to come in here anytime he wanted and study without being interrupted. So I wasn't able to do anything. As you can see here, I've got a review of a set of pencils called Finding the Lost Girl. Now, I'll get into the pencils in just a second, but before I get into this, I want to just talk about support within the art community. One of the things I've quickly come to understand about the art community is, although it's quite a broad community, a lot of people, artists tend to have to support other artists. We sell our work, and that's all well and good, and that's great. And depending on the kind of artist you are, will depend on the kind of money you get, that type of thing. But for the most part, here on especially YouTube and Instagram and all those social media platforms, it's other artists supporting other artists. It's mostly other artists watching our videos and making sure that they watch them to the end to help the algorithms see that the videos are being watched, or to click a like or subscribe to these channels. These are all ways of supporting other artists. And I want to talk about one artist in particular here today on the channel. Now, this guy is a guy called Barry. He has a fantastic presence on social media. He owns an art supply store. Well, it's more than an art supply store, but he owns an art supply store here in the UK. Inside the store, I'm going to leave links down below, by the way, so that you can go across, take a look at his website, take a look at all the different things that is going on in the art shop, and also take a look at what's going on within his own social media platforms. But Barry owns this art this art shop, and they sell everything. I mean, it really is a treasure trove. I've not been there in person, but I've watched the videos that he does, going around the store and showing you what they have in and what have you. And it just looks like the type of place that if I went there, I would end up being bankrupt. But because it's one of those rare gems that it's a small run art shop, and it has so many different art supplies in it. That's a very rare thing here in the UK, in any case. Obviously, we've got some of the bigger names here in the UK, as well as Amazon. And what I would like to just highlight here about what Barry's doing is, if anybody is on, here in the UK especially, wanting to buy art supplies, if you can, check out Barry's shop. Now, it's called the Artery Art Shop. Barry himself has years of experience. Barry was a teacher, an art teacher, but he's also worked for companies like Dale Rowney as, I guess you would call it, like a resident artist. But he's done so much. So in his own right, he's a fantastic artist. On his Instagram platform, you'll see him do little tutorials, things like that. Inside the art shop, they do lots of different classes. So you don't just have to, if you go to the art store and you want to pick up a few bits and bobs, chances are that there's going to be something going on in the art shop that you can use those art supplies or learn how to use those art supplies via all the different things that Barry has up on his website. It's run by Barry, like I say, and then there's another person that works there called Jackie. She seems to be kind of like she helps out an awful lot, and if it wasn't for her, when you listen to Barry talking, if it wasn't for Jackie, the shop probably would have fell through. I'm sure that's not really the case, but by all accounts, the two of them work incredibly well together. I just think it's really important that we try as best we can to support our smaller art stores, especially here in the UK. We don't have that many of them dotted throughout the country. So the ones that we do have, I think it's important that we try our best to support them. Buy some stuff off them offline if you need a watercolor paper or something like that. Go and take a look at these prices first before you go on to Amazon and all those other places, because even if you're just paying an extra £1 or something like that, and I know that is, you know, for everybody in this day and age, we are really, really struggling financially. And so an extra £1 does mean a lot. It's not just like a throwaway term, but you are doing really good to help keep this art store going, because obviously, just like we're all struggling, stores like Barry's, the Artery art store, are struggling as well. I think Barry put up a video a couple of months ago there about that they almost closed, but thanks to the support of the community, they were able to stay afloat for a little bit longer. And so if we can try to create a steady flow of support to this art store, then I think it would be great. By the way, Barry hasn't asked me to do this or anything like that. He doesn't really know I'm doing this. I'm sure he will do once I've put it out, but it's just something I wanted to do. Anyway, that's enough about the art store. By the way, I have links down below. Go across. Please check out their website and their social media platforms, because really, really good. And on a side note, if you're into like all the war music, like 40s and 50s music, you wanna listen to Barry singing. He also has another social media platform where he does a lot of this 40s and 50s music. He goes around different places doing live singing. You want to listen to him. He's absolutely amazing. So just on a side note, you want to take a look at that as well. Anyway, let's get on with this review. So, Finding the Lost Girl, really obscure set of colour pencils, but they are difficult to get hold of. But I still wanted to do the review because I just wanted to have them catalogued on the Art Gear Guide as a set of pencils that you can buy. This set here was actually sent to me by a subscriber, and I'll have a link down below to the subscriber that sent it to me. It's called the guy who runs the channel. The channel is called Sugar Sweet Art. And again, he's another fantastic artist in his own right. Creates his own characters, that kind of thing. But does all these little swatch journals, all the rest of it. Really, really good guy. Like I say, he reached out to me and asked me if I'd heard of these and if I wanted the set so that I could do a review on them. And so he sent them over to me, which I'm eternally grateful for. And I've now got round to doing that review, and so this is the review of these pencils. Like I said, they're not easy to get hold of. I do have a couple of links where you can get hold of them if you really want to, but you might have to wait. Sometimes they're in stock, sometimes they're not. So it's what I think really they're one of those sets that, if you're a collector of coloured pencils, this is a kind of set that you're going to want to have in your collection. Similar to the Phoenix Art colour pencils and the Marco Tribute colour pencils and the Tombow Iridescent colour pencils. All pencils like that tend to be really suited for collectors of colour pencils. So as you can see, this is a 72 set. I can't find any other smaller sets than this. These Finding the Lost Girl pencils, they come in two sets. Now, the only difference is the artwork on the front. You'll see some images popping up on the screen here of the other set and what the artwork on the front of that looks like. To the best that I've been able to research, the actual colours of the pencils inside that set are not different. So I'm not 100% sure the reasons behind putting two different tins out with the artwork on them. It could just simply be because down to collectors wanting to get obscure sets and they've just put 2 different sets out. It could be that. But the company who make these pencils is H&X. Now, it's a Chinese company. And so, therefore, for me, it's really, really difficult to pin down any information that isn't just, hearsay from other reviewers and stuff like that. When I'm talking about companies or I'm talking about products, I try to go directly to the source. I'd rather get the information directly from them or just not at all. So, finding out information about this company has been difficult. But by all intents and purposes, they're a huge company in China. They do lots and lots of different art supplies, and this just so happens to be one of the sets that they did. So, on opening the set, you see that there are 2 layers here. You can see the top layer, the colours in the top layer here. You've got all your yellows. There's some nice skin tone colours in the top layer. Then we go into our reds, our purples, and blues towards the very end here. Then on the bottom tier, the bottom layer, we got blues into our greens. Greens are okay. Then we go into our earth tones, like our yellow ochres or burnt umbers, that kind of thing. And then into the grey. Now, the thing I found out weird about this is they only have... some sets go nuts with metallics, and then other sets just don't put them in at all. This set has got 1 silver metallic pencil in there. Normally they'll have a metallic silver and a metallic gold, something like that. But they've just threw it, which is, I just find it a little bit random that there's just this 1 metallic silver pencil in there. If we take a look at the actual pencils themselves, so the pencil core is 4.3 millimeter core, which is quite a hefty core. If you look at a lot of the other pencils that I review, normally around about 3.8 millimeter core seems to be the average. So 4.3 millimeter core, that's quite a hefty chunk more. 7.8 millimeter barrel. Now, if you think of the Derwent drawing pencils, they're quite a thick pencil. I think the barrel on them is 8 millimeters. So it gives you a little bit of an indication what kind of thickness we're talking here. The pencils themselves, they feel nice in the hand. The entirety of the barrel is lacquered the same colour as the actual core. On the end of the barrel here, we just have like a simple decorative gold ring, just leaving half an inch or so of the barrel left there. There's no information about the pigment name or pigment numbers or anything like that. On one side of the barrel, it just says draw your inspiration. Then it has the H&X. I'm guessing H&X in Chinese beside it. There's some Chinese writing here on the side of it. If anybody can help me out and let me know what that Chinese writing says, that would be great. But that's it. There's nothing else on the pencils. Now, here's where I had a couple of issues with the pencils. When I was swatching the pencils, I'm showing you the thing here. You can see that these pencils have obviously been used now. But when I was swatching the pencils, because there is no number on the barrels, or there's no pigment name on the barrels, or anything like that, when you lift out a pencil and you create a swatch, so I'm going to show you the swatch now. Here you go. This is the swatch that I have done. I'll show you an image of it in a second. I'm just showing you this for demonstration purposes. There's no way of indicating this. So if I lift these pencils out when I'm doing some artwork, and I don't put them back in exactly the same place that they're in here now, it's difficult to pinpoint. You're going to have to, the reason why we do swatches is so that we know what pencil is going to look like on the artwork, on the paper that we've done the swatch on. But if you don't put these pencils back in exactly how they were when you done the swatch, then you're scuppered a little bit. I mean, there are ways of being able to find out, but it's all time consuming. It's a pain in the backside. You don't want to do it. I know you can go and get stickers, and you can put stickers on them, and you can, write numbers on them, that kind of thing. But again, that's all time consuming. That's all stuff. If you want to do that, that's absolutely fine. I don't think whenever you're buying a set of pencils, no matter how cheap they are, I don't think it takes that much for a company to put a number on the barrel or to put a name of the pigment on the barrel. Just a way of helping us to indicate which pencil is which when we're creating a swatch. Let me just leave the swatch over to the side there. I created some artwork with the pencils. I'll show you that in a second. But as usual, I've done some tests with them as well. Before I do the swatching, after I've done the swatching, I do this test. Before I do the artwork, I do this test. So as you can see here, there are 5 light layers and then 1 heavy application. And you can see that the colours are really nice and saturated. When I do these light layers, I hold the pencil at the very end of the barrel. So you can see here, the barely touching. By the way, this is Bristol vellum paper. This is Strathmore 300 series Bristol vellum. So you can see here by just the weight of the pencil, it's creating a really nice layer. And then all the way up to 5 layers, you can see the slight transition between each layer number, and then this heavy application here as well. So relatively well pigmented and nicely saturated colours in the set. You can see here on the blending test as well. So on this blending test, yellow and blue to create a green. The whole purpose of doing this is just so that you can see the third colour that the pencils are going to create. So red and yellow has created this really nice orange. The colours are really vivid. You can tell the difference between the colours. You can't always do that with certain sets of colour pencils. And then the last one here, which is always I find the hardest to get the third colour, the purple, from. But again, they've done really well on this particular test also. Now, I've not done any odorless mineral spirits testing on this because I've run out of odorless mineral spirits. The odorless mineral spirits I was using, it's all covered in gunk and stuff like that. So I've ordered a new bottle, but so I haven't done an odorless mineral spirits test with these. This is the swatch of the full 72. This colour up here at the front here, or up at the top here, is the metallic silver. So, and then we just go straight into these. Along the top here, we've got these, what I would consider Caucasian flesh tones. Into the yellows. A few nice oranges here, vermilions, going into the pinks. Not an awful lot of pinks really, but nice reds. Some of the purples are quite, if you look here, these lavenders and purples are quite similar. So I think maybe they could have done a little bit better at putting in a different colour. Coming down onto the blues here again. Blues are quite nice. They've got some really nice aqua blues, aqua greens. A couple of nice dark blues here as well, and dark aqua greens. Then we come down to the greens. The greens are really nice actually. Really good selection of greens, and they're not too similar to each other. So again, really nice overall selection of greens. There's a lot of greens in it, but they are nice and they are different. Then we come into the earth tones, and again, pretty decent earth tone colours here. And then towards the end here, we got a few greys. So a couple of, I suppose this is a light cool grey, a light warm grey, and a slightly darker cool grey, and a slightly darker warm grey. And then you've got 2 blacks in the set. But because they're not named, I'm guessing one is like a lamp black or a Mars black, and then just ordinary black here on the very end. So the colours all in all are a decent selection for a 72 set. Kind of pretty typical. Other than this random one metallic silver pencil that's in the set that I think a different colour could have been put in there instead of that. Now, before I show you the colours on black paper, so this was the artwork that I did using the pencils. Now here's where the problem came with these pencils. This artwork took me about 6 or 7 days to do, and when I put the video footage up on the Final Cut Pro, it was over 9.5 hours, which I couldn't believe. It took me 9.5 hours to do this. Obviously, I've condensed that down into a speed drawing of 8 minutes, but it was 9.5 hours, and I was really, really baffled by that. But even doing something like this should not have taken 6 or 7 days, but the core of the pencils just kept breaking all the time, and so it was getting to the point where I was dreading coming out to finish this artwork, because I would sharpen the pencil. Didn't matter what sharpener I used. I could use the Caran d'Ache hand crank sharpener. I could use the M&R sharpener. Didn't matter. Put new blades in. Everything. Didn't matter. They just kept falling out, and that was really, really frustrating. There was times where I had to put some colour down, and so I would have to do it very, very gently, because the core of the pencil was like moving as I was laying down a layer. When I show you the black paper test here, we're probably going to see some of these issues that I'm explaining to you. And I find that so frustrating because the actual core of these pencils is really, really nice. Now, they say they're an oil-based pencil, which I guess, if you buy into that kind of thing, yeah, they are. They're not a super soft core, but they're highly saturated, well pigmented. They layer really beautifully on the Bristol vellum paper and the Bristol smooth paper. This was done on Bristol smooth. They blend really well also, and so it's just so frustrating that the core broke so many times on all the pencils I was using. Now, I don't know whether that is just down to the fact that when they were shipped, they were maybe knocked about a bit. I don't know what it's like in America, but here in the UK, the Royal Mail just do not care about what they're sending out to people's houses, and they will just launch it from wherever they're standing to the back of a truck. So I don't know if it's just down to that, but that is the only issue that I really had with these pencils. Now, that is a big issue. It's the same as like the whole Prismacolor thing. Everybody loves Prismacolors, but they're just not prepared to go through the rigmarole of sharpening, resharpening, losing loads of core because you're having to pull it out and throw it in the bin and then resharpen it. I don't know enough people that have this set to be able to go to them and ask them that they experience the same issues. To be able to say to you, yeah, I think this is just an issue that this particular set had, or whether this is a quality control issue with these pencils throughout. So unfortunately, I'm not able to give you a definitive answer on that. You're just going to have to take the information I'm telling you here and decide whether you want to give it a go or not if you see them on Amazon or eBay or any of the other art sites that you might go to, AliExpress, that kind of thing. So let's take a look at these pencils on black paper. Okay, so I'm just going to get some colour down here on this black paper, and then I'll be able to zoom in, but I need to get some colour down first, otherwise the camera will start trying to focus in on nothing. So all I do on this test is just apply a heavy application of the pencil. Now, this isn't to say, this doesn't say whether the pencil is a good or a bad pencil. All it does is it shows whether the pencil is opaque or whether it is translucent. The Faber-Castell Polychromos are quite a translucent pencil, whereas if you look at the Derwent Chromaflow or the Prismacolor, they're quite opaque. So you can see here with this blue, let me just zoom in slightly. You can see there with that blue, Really nice, thick, opaque colour. This is the green. Now, as colour pencil artists, we're always looking for a really, really nice white, opaque pencil. I think most people already have their favourites. So that's the green. Next up is this red. And it doesn't matter, you know, in some sets you're going to get some pencils that are more translucent and some pencils that are more opaque. This red, for example, is quite translucent because you can see the black clearly showing up behind it there. Let me just take the light glare off that. Next up is the yellow. And there we go. See, there's the issue. Okay, so I've just sharpened that. And this isn't really like super heavy pressure. This is kind of like medium pressure, so it shouldn't really be breaking to that extent. Maybe the tip of it breaking off, but not the whole core. And last but not least, the white pencil. Now they are crumbling a little bit, but don't forget I'm applying like medium to heavy pressure. So there we go. So I'll have an image of this coming up on the screen in any case, so you'll be able to see it a little bit better. I know the light is glaring down. I've got a brand new light here. It's one of these Elgato lights. It's the Elgato key light, and it doesn't like shine in a direction. It's kind of like a flat thing, and so it's not really supposed to send a lot of glare over things, but as you can see, it does a little bit. But anyway, this is the test here on black paper, and as I say, this doesn't say whether the pencil's bad or good. It just shows you whether it's translucent or opaque. And as you can see here, we've got a mixture of all kinds. The blue and the white are quite opaque, whereas the green, the red and the yellow are quite translucent. Okay guys, so this is my review of the Finding the Lost Girl colour pencils. Really nice, unique set of pencils for collectors. I think if you're a collector of colour pencils, and there are lots of you out there, I know that this is a beautiful set to try and get hold of. And I know the guy that sent them to me, Sugar Sweet Art, he had both sets, the orange set and this one here, and it's obviously this Alice in Wonderland type theme with it, which is the reason why I done the Alice in Wonderland artwork, just to kind of like go along with the theme. Other than the fact that the core was breaking all the time and it was becoming really, really frustrating, and I just didn't enjoy doing the artwork, and I think that shows in the actual artwork. I was starting to get so frustrated with it. I just wanted it to be over and done with. The actual core of the pencils, the way they blend, the way they layer, and the fact that they're nice and pigmented and saturated, they're, in that respect, they're really nice pencils. It's just this core issue that I had, and they sharpen beautifully. That's the really, really strange thing here as well. They sharpen beautifully. Whatever the wood is that they've used to encase the core, there was no problems there. Sometimes whenever you have pencils where the core is breaking all the time, it's because the sharpeners are snagging on the wood, because the wood is low grade quality wood, and because it's snagging all the time, it's causing the soft core to break. That wasn't the case with these pencils, which makes me think that it's probably more to do with the fact that they were the Royal Mail played football with these pencils before bringing them to my house. But like I said, I can't definitively say one way or the other if that is actually the case. But thank you so much for watching this review. And now that my son's back at university, I'll be able to get on with things. And don't forget, if you can, please go ahead and show Barry some love in the Artery Art shop. All the links for his website and his Instagram platform, things like that, I'll have them all down below. Go across, show him some love. If you can, subscribe to his channels, things like that. Watch his videos, and if you need some new art supplies, check out the website first before you go anywhere else. Check it out, see if the prices are doable for you, and then take it from there. But I think in this day and age, especially, we as artists, we all need to help and support each other as best we can. And for people like me, supporting me, it's just a simple case of watching the videos, giving it a like, and maybe sharing them with people, or just leaving a comment. That's the best way that you can support me. So supporting people like me is really easy. With the likes of Barry, it's a little bit more to it than that. But I know Barry is the type of guy who just appreciates anything at all, and he's so passionate about art. It's not even funny. He's so passionate, and he knows exactly what he's talking about on all aspects of art. Also as well, go across, check out Sugar Sweet Arts website and social media platforms. I'll have a link down below. What this guy does is amazing in terms of all the different characters that he creates and swatch journals that he does. Absolutely brilliant. Don't forget, guys, leave a comment down below if you've got any questions about this set, or you've maybe used this set and you would like to share your experience. Leave some comments down below. We'll get a conversation going. Let us know what you thought of them, whether you loved them, you didn't like them, if you experienced the same issues I did, whatever it might be. Just leave a comment down below and get a conversation going. Anyway, guys, thanks very much. I look forward to seeing you all again in the next video. Bye.